generated using ID counter, ensuring each toy gets a unique identifier without requiring manual input. Third, the parameterized constructor is used when adding a toy with specific dates. It assigns values based on user input. Lastly, in the size attribute, instead of storing separate length, width, and height values, we use the format size method to convert them into a single formatted string. For example, it's a 10 by 5 by 3 centimeters with the appropriate length, width, and height values. This keeps the size representation clean and easy to display. And the next reporter is Mr. Manlapas.
I am Terence Newman Lapas, and let's dive into how we structured our Java program effectively. Now, to ensure proper access and modification of private toy attributes, we implement the getter-setters method. The getters allow other parts of the program to retrieve values without directly accessing private fields. For example, the get name returns the toy's name safely. The setters enable controlled updates to attributes, preventing unintended modification. For instance, the set name, the string name parameter, updates the toy's name based on the provided input of the user. With that being said, all identified attributes including ID, condition, manufacturer, size, weight, battery operation, sound feature, and interactive feature have corresponding getter-setters. This follows the principle of encapsulation, securing data while allowing controlled modifications. Moving on to the display details method, created to neatly present toys information in a structured format. It utilizes a formatted output method to align and display attributes such as ID, name, condition, manufacturer, size, weight, battery status, sound feature, and interactive feature. The weight is formatted to decimal places. Boolean attributes like is battery operated and has sound feature are displayed as yes or no, utilizing the ternary operator. The last method for the toy class in the format size method, in which organizes how toy dimensions are represented. It accepts three integer values, namely length, width, and height. It returns a formatted string in the pattern of length times width times height in centimeters. Moving on to the next part of the presentation.
Good day everyone, my name is Gabriel Montamlan, and I'll be discussing the add toy method. The add toy method is responsible for adding a new toy object to the toy collection. It accepts a toy object as a parameter and appends it to the list. This method ensures that new toys are added at the end of the list and managed within the system. Next is remove toy ID by ID. The remove by ID method is the next method of the main class. It removes a toy from the collection based on its ID. The method first verifies whether the collection contains any toys using the isEmpty function. If it is empty, the user is informed and the process stops. Next, the method iterates over toy collection using an enhanced for loop, invoking the getID gather method, a conditional statement that checks for an ID match. Next is, upon successful identification, the remove index method of array list is invoked to delete toy from the collection. A catch block handles number format exception, which occurs when the user enters an numeric value. It displays an error message and prompts the user to enter a valid number again. And last, if no toy with the given identifier exists, the program notifies the user accordingly as well. The next presenter is Mr. Arana.
Good day everyone, my name is Raymond Arana, and the things that we'll be discussing are display list, search by name, and filter by condition. So first is display list. The display list method, which facilitates the structure retrieval and presentation of all stored toy records. The method also first verifies whether the collection contains any toys. If the collection is empty, a message is printed to notify the user and the method exits. If the collection holds toys, the print handle method is invoked before iterating through the dataset. The method uses a for each loop to go through each toy object. During the loop, it calls display details on each toy to show its features, to show its attributes rather. Next is search by name. Search toy by name method which lets us which lets user find a specific toy by searching by its name. Of course, the method starts by checking if toy collection contains any element using its empty method. If toys are available, the method prompts the user to enter a name and iterates through toy collection using an enhanced for loop. It compares each toy's names with the user's input using equal case for case-insensitive match. If a match is found, the toy is stored in temp toy and the loop exits. After the loop, the method checks if a match was found. If temp toy is still null, a message is displayed indicating that no toy was found. Otherwise, print header formats the output and display details present toys as attributes. The method ends with a message confirming the completion of the search operation. Next is filter by condition. The filter by condition method introduces a classification mechanism that segregates toys based on their condition status. This method also begins by executing the check if toy collection is device and empty method. The evaluation condition method is invoked from the main class and retrieves the condition type specified by the user, serving as the reference for the filtering processes. The method iterates over toy collection using an enhanced for loop. The equals ignore case function enables case-insensitive comparison with the user's specified condition and each toy's condition. Upon detecting the first match, the conditional block prints the category label involves print head to structure the tabular output. The display details method is called every toy the object that satisfies the condition, presenting its attributes. Afterwards, the found flag is set to true, preventing the header formatting block from being run more than once. Post-iteration method, the method evaluates the found variable. If no matching record exists, a message is displayed to notify the user. So the next presenter will be Mr. Sarmiento.
Thank you, Mr. Ronan. Good day, my name is Benedict Sarmiento, and I will explain how the method of search by interactive feature works and the print header method. The search by interactive feature methods allows the user to filter toys based on specific interactive features. It first checks if the toy collection is empty. If so, it displays a message and exits the method. Next, it presents a number list of available interactive features. The user is prompted to select a feature by entering a number with input validation ensuring the selection is within range. If invalid input is detected, the user is prompted again. Once a valid choice is made, the method iterates through the toy collection to find matches. It compares each toy's interactive features with the selected feature using a case-insensitive check. Next one is, if a matching toy is found, the program prints a categorized label called print header and displays the toy details using display details. Formatting is handled to ensure clarity. If no toys match the selected feature, the program displays a message informing the user. Finally, the first element of the interactive feature list is set to custom for flexibility in future searches. The method enhances the toy search experience by ensuring the structured user-friendly filtering processes with smooth error handling and error output formatting. The next method is print header. To maintain structured data representation, the print header method ensures uniform tabular formatting across various display functionalities. The method prints a horizontal separator to visualize the tabular structures, a formatted output statement aligns toy attributes ensuring consistency in column width and readability. And for the last one is another horizontal separator is embedded to reinforce stable boundaries.
And that concludes our presentation on the Toy Manager program. We have covered its key features, demonstrated its functionality, and walked through its implementation. Through this system, users can efficiently manage a collection of toys by adding, removing, searching, and filtering based on various attributes. We hope this presentation has provided a clear understanding of how the program works and the logic behind its design.